Did you know that 78% of Americans living in the richest country in the world exist paycheck to paycheck? This isn't just a statistic from a government report, it is an epidemic that is devouring your future right now. Imagine, you work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, giving your best years to a corporation. But on payday, your money disappears faster than you can say direct deposit. If you feel like you're running in a wheel where the finish line is constantly moving away, stop. Your problem isn't how much you earn. Your problem is that you don't have a system. Today, I will give you a mathematically proven, psychologically resilient algorithm that will turn your payday from a day of paying off debts into a day of building an empire. Today on the Sem Invests channel, we will break down how to make every single one of your dollars work for you in 3 shifts, and why what you've been doing before is guaranteed to lead you to financial ruin in today's American economy. I'm about to completely rewire your financial thinking. We won't be talking about simple savings on lattes, we are going deeper. You will learn how to use US tax loopholes that banks stay silent about, how to correctly allocate cash between HYSA, Roth IRA, and 401k, and why your habit of paying bills first is the biggest mistake of your life. I will show you through the numbers how an average person with a salary of $50,000, $60,000 can retire as a multimillionaire simply by changing the order of operations in the first 30 minutes after receiving a bank notification. This isn't magic, it's pure math and discipline. If you are ready to stop being a sponsor for American banks and start building your own wealth, listen to every word. Let's admit the truth. The old rules of the game in the US no longer work. Previously, the strategy of work hard, save 10% in a savings account, and buy a house was a ticket to the middle class. Today, it is a recipe for poverty. In an environment where real inflation significantly exceeds official figures, and the cost of housing in states like California, New York, or Florida is growing exponentially, keeping money in a standard checking account at 0.01% APY is financial suicide. Every day your money sits idle, it loses purchasing power. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. We live in a consumer economy designed to drain every cent from you. Social media algorithms know your weaknesses. Amazon offers one-day delivery, and banks flood you with offers for 0% credit cards that turn into a debt trap at 29% APR a year later. The system wants you to be the ideal consumer. Corporations do not need a financially independent person. They need someone tied to their job by health insurance and a mortgage, someone who cannot afford to quit because their savings would last exactly 3 weeks. This is modern slavery, wrapped in the beautiful packaging of the American dream. And the most dangerous part is that it looks like a normal life that everyone is supposedly meant to strive for. You aren't forced, you are gently guided, forming habits that work not for you, but against you. Banks profit from your ignorance. When you keep $10,000 in a savings account at a major bank like Chase or Bank of America, they pay you pennies, and then lend that same money to your neighbor at 7% for a car loan or at 20% on a credit card. They make money out of thin air using your capital. Effectively, you are giving them your resource for free while they earn several times more on it. The difference between what you receive and what they earn is their business model. It's time to take your share and flip this game in your favor. Because as soon as you begin to understand how the system is structured, you stop being its fuel and start using it as a tool. To understand how this works in practice, let's look at 3 stories I see constantly. The names have been changed, but the situations are absolutely real. The first case is John. John is a successful software engineer in Austin, Texas. His salary is $160,000 a year. From the outside, it looks like he is on top of the world. He drives a brand new Tesla Model 3 on a lease, lives in a prestigious apartment complex with a pool, and dines at expensive restaurants every weekend. But if we look at his banking app the day before payday, we see less than $500. John has a classic case of lifestyle creep, lifestyle inflation. With every salary increase, he increased his expenses. He has no emergency fund. His 401k is empty because he wants to live for today, and his credit score is dropping because his credit card utilization is at 80%. John is a wealthy pauper. One accident, one wave of layoffs in IT, and in a month he will be on the street because his entire life is built on sand. He works for his things rather than his things working for him. The second case is Sarah. Sarah works as a nurse in Chicago and earns $70,000. She doesn't get stock bonuses or a massive salary. But Sarah has a system. Every time she gets paid, the first thing she does is transfer 15% to her Roth IRA and 10% to a high-yield savings account, HYSA. She lives in a modest but cozy apartment, drives a 5-year-old Toyota, and uses credit cards only for the cash back, paying off the balance in full every month. Over 5 years of this strategy, Sarah has accumulated $120,000. This money isn't just sitting there, it is invested in index funds. Last year, when the market grew by 20%, Sarah earned more on her investments than John earned from his labor in 3 months. Sarah is calm. She has FU money capital that gives her the freedom of choice. She isn't afraid of losing her job because her assets create a protective dome over her life. And the third example is a couple, Michael and Emily. They moved to the US 3 years ago. Their combined income is $110,000. At first, they made all the typical mistakes. They took out loans for furniture, bought cars they couldn't afford, and spent every last cent. But a year ago, they decided to implement the payday routine we are talking about today. They implemented the rule of automation. Now, as soon as the salary hits, the system distributes the money itself. $500 goes toward debt repayment using the snowball method, $1,000 goes to a brokerage account, and the rest goes toward living expenses. In 12 months, they paid off $15,000 in debt and created a $20,000 emergency fund. Michael's main insight was simple. We didn't start earning more. We just stopped letting the money decide where to go. Now we tell it where to go. Let's move to the math, because numbers don't lie. Many think that investing is for the rich. That is a lie you've been fed. Let's compare two scenarios over a 2-0-year span. Scenario A. David puts away $500 a month into a regular checking account. After 20 years, he will have $120,000. Sounds okay? No. Given the average inflation in the US of 3 to 4%, the purchasing power of that money will be cut nearly in half. He effectively lost money just by storing it. Scenario B. Jessica invests the same $500 a month into the S&P 500 through her Roth IRA. The average historical market return is about 10% annually. After 20 years, Jessica will have approximately $380,000 in her account. No, the most interesting part comes later. Because she used a Roth IRA, all of that money is her net profit. She doesn't have to pay taxes when withdrawing funds after age 59.5. The difference between David and Jessica is $260,000. $250,000 difference simply because of exactly where they directed their money on payday. Now let's add the 401k match to the equation. If your employer offers a match, for example, 4%, that is literally a 100% return on your investment instantly. If you earn $75,000 and don't contribute $3,000 to your 401k to get another $3,000 from the company, you are simply throwing $3,000 into the trash can every year. Over 20 years, considering compound interest, this mistake will cost you more than $200,000. Are you ready to pay that price for your unwillingness to look through a few HR department documents? Psychological trap number 1 in the US is the monthly payment mentality. Salespeople for cars, furniture, and even electronics at Best Buy don't ask you, "How much does this cost?" They ask, "What monthly payment can you afford?" This is a trap for your brain. When you see $400 a month for a new car, your brain says, "Oh, that's cheap." But it doesn't see that you will be paying this for 72 months and will end up overpaying $12,000 just in interest. On payday, your task is to destroy this mentality. You must evaluate your purchases not in dollars per month, but in hours of your life spent earning that amount, and in the opportunity cost that this money could have provided if invested. So, here is your step-by-step algorithm for every morning after payday. Step 1. Automate the wealth tax. These are the 20% that you pay to yourself first. Don't wait until the end of the month to set aside what's left. Nothing will be left. Money has a way of evaporating. Set up an automatic transfer from your bank to a separate account on the day you receive your direct deposit. If you don't see it, you don't spend it. Step 2. Fund your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Your regular savings account at a big bank is an insult. Open an account at an online bank, for example, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally, or SoFi, where the rate is currently 4.4 to 5% APY. That is 400 to 500 times more than at Chase. Your goal is 3 to 6 months of your mandatory expenses. This is your insurance against life's storms. Until this fund is filled, investing in crypto or individual stocks is gambling, not financial planning. Step 3. Aggressively pay off bad debts. If you have credit card balances with interest higher than 15%, that is a financial hemorrhage. You cannot invest at 10% while paying 25% to the bank. Use the avalanche method, direct all available funds to the debt with the highest interest rate, while paying the minimum on the rest. Every dollar paid off on a credit card at 29% is a guaranteed 29% return on your money. No hedge fund in the world will give you such a stable return. Step 4. Maximize tax benefits. Check your 401k. Are you taking the match? If not, do it today. Then look at a Roth IRA. This is the best tool for long-term wealth in the US. You contribute money after taxes, but all the growth and all the dividends inside the account are tax-free, forever. If you invest $6,500 a year, the limit for 2023 to 2024 for 30 years, you can accumulate over $1 million, and Uncle Sam won't get a single cent of it. This is a legal way to become wealthy that is available to everyone. Step 5. Invest in index funds. Don't try to guess the next Tesla or Nvidia. 90% of professional fund managers lose to the S&P 500 index over the long run. Buy VOO or VTI. These are funds that include hundreds or thousands of the largest US companies. By buying them, you are betting on the entire American economy. On payday, simply buy more of these funds at a set amount, regardless of whether the market is up or down. This is called dollar cost averaging, DCA, and it is the strategy that has created more millionaires than any other. Step 6. Manage your credit score. Your credit rating in the US is your financial reputation. On payday, check your balances. Never use more than 30% of your credit limit. If your limit is $10,000, try to keep the balance under $3,000. This is called credit utilization, and it accounts for 30% of your FICO score. A high credit rating will allow you to get a mortgage at a low interest rate in the future, which will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over 30 years. Let's reinforce this with a specific example. Imagine Robert. Robert earns $5,000 a month net after taxes. His payday routine looks like this. $500, 10% automatically goes into his 401k. He already gets a match from his company. $500, 10% goes into his Roth IRA, where he buys VOO. $300 goes into a HYSA to finish building his emergency fund. $200 an extra payment on his car loan to close it 2 years early. The remaining $3,500, this is his budget for housing, food, bills, and entertainment. Robert doesn't feel deprived. He simply pays future Robert first, and then everyone else. After 10 years of this strategy, even if his salary doesn't grow by a single cent, he will have capital of over $250,000. Meanwhile, his colleagues earning the same amount will continue to complain about inflation and the bad government. Your task for tomorrow morning or for your next payday is simple, but requires courage. First, Log into your online banking and face the truth. How much did you spend last month on impulse buys, subscriptions you don't use, and eating out? Write down that figure. Second, set up an automatic transfer of at least $100 to a high-yield savings account. Start small. Psychology is more important than the amount. You need to train your brain to the fact that money goes to savings before you have time to think about it. Third, call your HR department or log into your benefits portal and ensure you are using the 401k match at 100%. This is literally free money. Refusing it is a crime against your family. Remember, wealth in the US is not the result of luck or winning the lottery. It is the result of a series of correct decisions repeated month after month, year after year. Your payday is your chance. Every time a check hits your account, you are standing at a crossroads. One road leads to eternal stress, job dependency, and fear of the future. The other road leads to freedom, the ability to travel, to help loved ones, and to retire when you want, not when the government allows. The system is built for you to lose. But now you have a map and a compass. You know how banks work. You understand the power of compound interest and tax benefits. There are no more excuses. You cannot control inflation. You cannot control the stock market. You cannot control politics. But you have full control over what happens to your money in the first 30 minutes after payday. If you have watched until this point, you are already ahead of 90% of the population. You invested your time and your knowledge, and that is the best investment you could have made today. But knowledge without action is just noise. Right now, open your notes on your phone and write down 3 steps you will take this payday. Will it be opening a Roth IRA, paying off credit card debt, or setting up an automatic transfer to a HISA? Do it. This channel, Sem Invests, is created to be your navigator in the complex world of American finance. We are not here to entertain you. We are here to make you wealthy and free. Every like and subscription is not just support for the channel. It is a signal to the YouTube algorithms that you need high-quality financial content, not degradation. This is your first investment in the right environment. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and let's build your future together. Your next payday should be the start of your new life. See you in the next video. Take action. Time is your most valuable asset. Don't waste it.